So it is providing a more intelligent ecosystem, a more effective ecosystem that's more decentralized, more capable of meeting the needs of the ecosystem. Because as we've seen for the last few years, the BP system wasn't enough, right? So that's what we're kind of here to do, is build what comes next and get it ready. And then it's just putting up a vote. So that's now the way I'm thinking. And then this is really obvious, the value we're bringing to EOS, because we're experimenting with the future governance of EOS in that sense. Seeing what we can pull off. But then it's our job to also make it all work. Anyway, so I'll leave it at that, and I'll pass it over to Han and let you speak a little bit.
So actually, I've been, working on this for such a long time. There has been my videos, and now in the last 3 months, I and Edenia has been building this thing called Eden Smart Proxy. The whole thing right now, EOS BP governance at this current stage is that pretty much controlled by a couple of exchanges, which is mostly good big portion of the voting coming from one of the exchange in Korea, and the other from global exchange. But then the thing is, how these BPs are selected is not as per token holders' voluntary choice, but actually the BPs are selected as per somebody in the middle. So I don't think this properly represents the community's will on the BP governance, who is in a position to make all the political, technical, and economical decision makings. So, getting this governance right is very much important as a blockchain, because in the end, blockchain is just a legitimacy tool. So decentralization, centralization is just a different ways of, deriving legitimacy in collective decision making. And I think EOS is very much special because it came up with this concept of Eden process, Eden fractal election process, or upvote election process ready. So I really do think that as much Eden is empowered and as much Eden is empowered, the EOS becomes stronger. Right now, so what I'm building here is that Eden Smart Proxy. It's a proxy, and how it is run is that only the participants of the last election and their delegates will have a voting power. And if you go to level 1 and level 2, if you become a level 1 delegate, level 2 delegate, or even chief delegates, you're going to have a differently weighted voting weight depending on how far you go in the election process. And then those BPs who are going to be eligible to be casted votes by those voters in the Eden community will be from my vote EOS whitelist. So I saw Javier briefly mentioned about how these BPs are whitelisted. So it's very simple. So first one, no vote by. The second one is disclosing, operations and financials on regular basis. And number 3, no sock puppet or second BP under the same ownership. So only those BPs who reveals their face to the community will be voted by those people who revealed their identity over peer vetted identity over Zoom calls in induction process on Eden. So it's basically this Eden Smart Proxy is integrity and accountability layer for the whole blockchain governance, I think. So how it is going to be empowered is that I want to propose those BPs to prepare for a system contract upgrade, in which those BPs collectively give up 0.25% block pay inflation, and that turned it into Eden Smart Proxy's rewards pool, so that anyone, say, those centralized exchanges who would sell their votes to those BPs directly can give up the ties with direct relationship with those BPs, and then delegate their voting powers to this proxy and earn the reward from the block pay that BPs collectively gave up. In
And
this
Han,
scheme,
do I have
yeah,
this right then, that 0.25% that goes to the proxy is distributed by those who are delegating to the proxy, but you can only delegate if you're an Eden member, or you can delegate if you're anyone? Because if it's only an Eden member, well, it might be interesting to say Eden members, because that's another incentive to verify yourself and become an Eden member.
It's a bit too restrictive, maybe.
We can think about it later, but then the current design is that anyone can delegate their voting power to this proxy. So I think it is good to begin with. It's good to begin with the 0.25 sacrifice from BPs collectively, and I think it is going to be more than enough to provide a better reward than exchanges would make with the vote selling scheme. So nobody loses. So exchanges make money, their customers make better money, more money, and the system will have more integrity and accountability. So in this way, I think it's gonna bring the EOS achieve its original vision as a truly governed blockchain. And I think it's going to be relevant in the whole blockchain industry more than ever, because what we are seeing right now with this Terra Luna incident and FTX incident, Celsius incidents, is all same pattern. It's the same, all same, and it's and also the narrative that EOS is writing right now at the moment is also bringing the power back to the community, right? So I think it is totally in line with what ENF wants to achieve, and it's going to be only supportive of ENF, and it doesn't go anything like, it doesn't opposing anything. So I really think that everybody wins in this game. Exchanges, delegators who stakes for this proxy, and BPs and everybody. So only the thing that BP loses is the block pay amount. So those top 21 BPs will have to give up their block pay, which is about 330 EOS per day. But then there's going to be less competition between top 21 and top 22nd BP position, because there used to be very severe unnecessary competitions. So I think there's going to be many BPs who will be goes in line with this proposal. So hopefully, because timing, I think timing is quite right, because accountability is becoming an issue right now in the whole industry. So that's why proof of humanity kind of thing is becoming very important. Also, soulbound token, and we have Eden. So EOS have such a higher chance of becoming more relevant. And so where we are now with Eden Smart Proxy, so if you try proxy.eden.eoscommunity.org, you can try it out yourself as an Eden member. You can cast your votes. But then what is not ready at the moment is that there's no smart contract for reward distribution. And also, we have to be prepared for other Eden communities to emerge, and then they would have to be also have their say. So we need to build another smart contract for that. So I think we're going to put a Pomelo pitch, because it's going to be all public domain. All the code development will be open sourced to get your support. And and we as a community, as the leaders of the community who even dare to reveal the true identity, I think there's lots of integrity here. So I really think if you can join on board with this, supporting all these cause, I would really appreciate it, because it's not just my thing. I just happen to be a person who began all this. I just happen to be a person who was born in Korea, happen to be very close to these exchanges who are sitting on top of more than 20% tokens. So I cannot leave. I could have left EOS way long ago, but then I couldn't do that, because I see that how things can drastically changes as this thing can happen. So this is I think it really is the moment of the truth. It's the moment of the truth. It's the upcoming month or two will be a moment of the truth. So EOS will either really become the chain that is truly owned by the community, or just stay here. So I think this is the last shot, and then this MSIG this time showed us the significance of its meaning. So I mean, right now, Korean communities, not all of them, but majority of them are really pissed. Chinese communities also, because this MSIG deal was not, discussed properly, publicly. And this fund, 68 million is public money. It's not private. It's not something that can be decided behind the door. All the conversation has to be public, like a C-SPAN TV. In the US, there's a C-SPAN TV, right? So all the congressional conversation is aired 24/7, and although nobody's watching it, there has to be recorded public conversations. So we don't have that. Although BPs are deciding everything on behalf of us, but then we don't know who they really are. We don't know what they are up to. Of course, if we go to blocks.io, we know their BP name, but then what else do we know about them? Because they don't talk to us, because they don't have to represent us, because they our right. If I buy your right, do I have to represent you? No, because I own your right. This is what's happening. This is the truth, and we have to face it.
Thank you, Han.
Yeah.
I think you have, we discussed earlier when you weren't here that you have the full support of chief delegates.